transfers so far this summer. Now, I thought we should do this because we have of course spoken a lot about transfers. I've done sort of rambles talking about I did some videos ranking transfer rumours, but I realised I haven't actually spoken about confirmed transfers yet, so now is my chance. And we're going to be specifically in this video just focusing on European transfers, so we're not really going to be talking about Premier League transfers today. We're just going to go through some of the, as of recording, confirmed transfers across Europe, because like I said, we haven't really touched on a lot of these, so it's going to be, well, a little bit informative for you guys, because a lot has of course happened, so it's quite hard to deal with stuff, so we can have a look together at some of the transfers and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on some of them. So I'm on The Guardian here because they have a really good website here where you can just sort of filter them out like this, and we'll just go league by league and take a look at what's really been going on in Europe. So we'll start in Italy with Serie A, and we'll just go through price, and the most expensive sale actually in Italy this summer has been Matteo Retegui, who has left Atalanta to Al Qadish for 56 million in Saudi Arabia. This is actually quite a good signing for us, Saudi, in terms of this is a player who is really at the peak of his powers right now, and I mean, he's had some rise, Matteo Retegui, to be fair to him, because I think, only 3 years ago he was sort of playing in Argentina. Nobody had really heard of him in Europe. Went to Genoa, ripped it up, and last season joined Atalanta, and as said there, scored 28 goals, was the top scorer in Italy last season, and now is earning millions over in Saudi, so fair play to him. Atalanta, yet another big profit for them as well with this sale, but they are losing their top scorer last season, so that is a big blow, and it's not a confirmed transfer as of recording, but Ademola Lookman, another key attacker for Atalanta, looks set to be leaving. He'll probably be joining Inter Milan, so that's two key attackers gone from Atalanta. They've also lost their manager. He's gone to Roma. Gasperini. They've actually appointed the former Southampton manager Ivan Jurek, who you might remember was awful at Southampton last season, so I do worry a little bit for them. Francesco Conceição has made a permanent move to Juventus. He was on loan there last season. Napoli have signed Sam Bukema from Bologna for 26.9 million, and this is one of a host of Napoli signings. They've really been, actually, I was just going to say in Italy, but across Europe they've been one of the most active clubs in terms of signings. Actually, if I just go to transfers by club, and we'll just have a little look at Napoli's transfers right now. They signed Sam Bukema from Bologna, who was very good for them over the last couple of years at centre-back, has been one of the better centre-backs in the league. They then signed Noah Lang from PSV on the left wing for them. They then signed this guy Luca Marinucci, a young centre-back there. Lorenzo Luca is a striker, joins on loan with an option to buy for 30 mil. They were originally going to get Nunes, but they went for this guy instead. Then of course they signed Kevin De Bruyne on a free. So Napoli have made a lot of transfers already, and then they still might be making a couple more as well, but they're looking good right now. I'm excited to see how De Bruyne does for them and all of these new signings, but they were the champions last season and they're looking really strong going into next strengthened their squad right now. But anyways, let's carry on having a look in Serie A. So Nico Gonzalez has joined on a permanent. Samuel Ricci has went from Torino to Milan for 21.5 million. Now, Milan have sort of undergone a bit of a rebuild, and actually, like Napoli, they've had a lot of transfers going on. If I show you, they've been very active both in terms of in and outs. So, of course, Tijani Linders has left to Manchester City, and his replacement, they sort of have built an entire new midfield, really. They signed Samuel Ricci, who is actually quite a promising young midfielder, could potentially be sold on for a big fee like Linders. They then signed, of course, Luka Modric on a free as well, which, like De Bruyne, I'm very excited to see how Modric does in Serie A. I think he'll do very, very well. But they've got Modric, they've got Samuel Ricci, and they're also trying to sign Arden Jashari from Club Ligue as well. So they could have an entirely new midfield, which is pretty exciting. Theo Hernandez also has departed, he's gone to Saudi. A little bit disappointing because Theo Hernandez a couple years ago was one of the best left backs in the world. Sort of performances dipped at Milan, but yeah, he's gone to Saudi in the end. But Milan have made quite a few signings, obviously managed under Max Allegri now, but yeah. Inter Milan, they signed Luis Enrique from Marseille. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know too much about him, but seems fairly promising, and Inter in general have made a couple signings here and there. Roma have signed Neil El Ayanu from Lens for £20 million. Inter Milan also signed Angione Boni from Parma for 19.6 million. And this is a really good signing actually, because he is linking up with his former boss Shivu, who was the manager of Parma and Boni last season. Boni was pretty good for Parma last year, good young striker, good backup to Thuram and Martinez, which they definitely needed, so I think I like that signing quite a bit. Jesus Rodriguez has joined Como from Real Betis, and I also believe Alvaro Morata is joining Como as well. Camaldine Sulemana has joined Atalanta, linking up with his former boss Ivan Juric. Nicholas Goon from Celtic to Como for 16.5 mil. Como have actually made some really good signings. I'm quite excited for Como next season. I think they can do really well. Obviously managed under Cesc Fabregas. Nicholas Goon was fantastic at Celtic. As I mentioned, they've got Morata coming in as well. They got this Jesus Rodriguez guy as well. So yeah, I think they could do pretty good stuff. And they've also signed, I didn't even realise this, wow, Martin Badluna from Dinamo Zagreb for 14.4 mil. Those of you who play Football Manager will know about this kid. Apparently, he's like a wonder kid on Football Manager, so but if he's any good in real life, then Como got some good players on their hands. Also, this kid I'm quite excited for, Honest Anno, 17 years old, and he's gone to Atalanta for 13.6 mil. And Fagioli's move made permanent. Anything else here? Sofian Amrabat, permanent move. I think that's pretty much most of the big ones. Nuno Tavares has joined permanently. Let me go see any free transfers here before we move on to any different leagues. Benedeschi has gone to Bologna, returned to Serie A. Let's see if he's still got it after a couple years in the MLS. What else do we have here? I believe Bologna also signed Ciro Immobile as well, which again, let's see if he's still got it in Serie A. Sorry, I think he was in Turkey before, but I should actually mention as well, Roma. Evan Ferguson has not been confirmed yet, but is pretty much going to be confirmed by the time you see this. Evan Ferguson will be joining them on a loan with an option to buy for I think around 40 mil, which is such a fun signing. I cannot wait for that. I really hope Evan Ferguson does well. I mean, that could be a real good steal there from Roma, because we all know how talented Ferguson is, and yeah, that's a really fun move. I hope he does well. I'm excited to see how he does under Gasperini, who does pretty well with attackers. I really do think he can re-find his form, Evan Ferguson, so I'm excited for that. And also, Perez Stupinan is also going to be joining AC Milan. He'll be coming in as a Theo Hernandez replacement, so those were like a couple transfers which haven't been confirmed as a recording, but are pretty much done. And I think that's most of the Serie A transfers covered. Let's go to La Liga next. So, obviously Dean Howson has joined Real Madrid, but Álvaro Callejas has also joined Real Madrid for 43.4 million. Yeah, this one was sort of rumoured for quite a while. Real Madrid were quite keen on bringing him back. Actually played for them in his younger days. Played for Man United as well. But they brought him back. Quite a big fee, I must say. I don't know too much about Callejas. I haven't watched him play a ton. We'll see how he does. But I mean, that is quite a big fee. But Real Madrid needed a new left back, and they've invested quite a lot in their defence. Signed a centre back in Howson, signed a left back in Callejas, and signed a right back in Trent. Absolutely necessary though, because that was the biggest problem for them last season. So let's see if it makes any difference. Atletico Madrid, I do actually want to talk about them because they have been making some really interesting signings, and yeah, they look quite fun ones. So they signed Alex Baena for 39 million, which is a massive signing because Baena has sort of been touted for a big move for a couple of seasons now. He's been one of Villarreal's best players. 24 assists in the last 2 La Liga seasons. He is a fantastic player, and he's finally made that step up, joining Atletico Madrid, so that's really exciting to see how he does. They then signed Johnny Cardoza for 26 million, the American from Real Betis, and again, a really exciting signing. Cardoza was fantastic for Betis last season, a sort of DM, I guess he's sort of the Rodrigo de Paul replacement, because he'll be joining Inter Miami, which is a little bit of a weird one, but linking up with Messi. But Johnny Cardozo comes in to replace him, which is pretty fun, man. An American at Atletico Madrid. I don't know if that's ever happened, but yeah. They then signed Thiago Almada as well for 18.2 million. Again, a really talented player, sort of been touted from a young age as the next big thing. He's had a bit of a weird career, playing for MLS, playing Brazil, was at Lyon last season. I don't think he's necessarily done amazing, but he's got a lot of talent, and I'm excited to see how he does at Atletico. Then signed Matteo Ruggeri, the left back from Atalanta for 14.6 million, which is a really good move. Again, they needed another left back. They were linked with Andy Robertson, but they went for Ruggeri instead, and he was pretty good for Atalanta. So they've made some really good signings. They've also, I believe, about to sign this guy from Almeria. I don't know how you pronounce it, but Wolves were on the verge of signing him, and they've hijacked that. So they made some younger signings. They've really brought that average age down of the squad, and they've made some really exciting ones. So shout out to Atletico Madrid. Okay, obviously Mastroianni's joined Real Madrid as well. Barcelona, so Joan Garcia has joined from Espanyol for 21.3 million. Yeah, Garcia one of the best keepers in Spain last season. I believe Arsenal actually 2 seasons ago tried to sign him, but couldn't agree to fee. But he was fantastic for Espanyol. Barca triggered his release clause, and it looks like he'll probably be. I'm not sure if he'll instantly coming as number one because Szczesny was fantastic last season, but he'll definitely be the future number one for Barcelona. Although, I mean, they have so many goalkeepers because they've still got Ter Stegen, they've got Szczesny, they've got Inaki Pena still, and Garcia, so surely at least 2 of them are going to be leaving Barca, but a really nice signing there from Barcelona. What else do we have here? Alberto Molero for 13.7 mil has joined Villarreal from Las Palmas. Very good signing, a really good replacement actually for Alex Baena. They needed to find someone to replace Baena, and they've gone for Molero, who very creative player, and was very good for a very poor Las Palmas side. So that could be a really good replacement there. Rodrigo Riquelme has joined Real Betis, and Nathan has joined on a permanent. Ilax Mariba has joined Celta Vigo. I remember this kid at Barca was like a wonder kid. Oh man, I forgot about this as well from Coma. Another great signing from Alex Valle. Very highly rated La Masia kid at left back has joined them. Anything else in Spain? Rooney I don't know how to say this guy's name. Gaji, I don't know. We'll call him Rooney. He has joined Barcelona for 1.7 mil, which, like I was saying about Martin Batluna, I mean, if you've played FM, you know this kid is a baller, like he is a wonder kid. This could turn out to be a really, really big signing for Barca and a bargain, but we'll see how he does. But also it does remind me, of course, Marcus Rashford has joined Barcelona, which is, I think, a really good transfer from a Barcelona perspective because it's only on a loan, it's fairly low risk, a bit of depth, a bit of cover on the left hand side, which is what they needed. A bit of cover maybe through the central areas if needed too. And if they can get Rashford back to his best, then yeah, they've got a good player on their hands, so I think that's a pretty good signing. I think Barca so far so good actually in terms of their signings. Let's see if there's any other transfers here in terms of free transfers. Lucas Bergstrom has joined Mallorca from Chelsea. As Vallejo has finally left Real Madrid after 10 years out of the club. Ronaldo has joined Sunderland, which is a really random transfer. Very, very random. Yeah, I think that's everything in Spain. We'll move on then to the next league. The next league is Germany Bundesliga. So, Bayer Leverkusen, let's talk about them because they've probably been the most interesting and most active in terms of outgoings and ingoings in Germany. So, of course, they've completely undergone a massive rebuild. They've lost their manager in Xabi Alonso and Eric Ten Hag's come in. They lost Florian Wirtz to Liverpool, they lost Frimpong to Liverpool. They lost... These guys don't really matter. They lost Jonathan Tah to Bayern Munich as well. They also are maybe going to lose Granit Xhaka to Sunderland. That could potentially be happening. So they've lost a lot of key players right now. They're undergoing a massive rebuild, but they're pulling some decent players so far. So Mark Flecken has come in goal, which is not too bad. He was pretty good for Brentford. They brought in Jarrell Kwanzaa to replace Jonathan Tah, which I really like. I think Kwanzaa is actually a pretty decent centre back. £30 million. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm excited to see how he does, getting regular minutes under his belt. They brought in Malik Tillman to replace Wirtz for 30 mil, which again I don't mind. He was very good at PSV last last season. The American, yeah, I think he played in Germany before for Bayern Munich, but it didn't really work out, so making a return there with Bayer Leverkusen I think is not too bad a signing. So, yeah, Leverkusen, I don't know how they're going to do next season because they've lost so many key players, but I think who they've actually brought in to replace them so far have actually been pretty decent, to be honest. So, right, Borussia Dortmund, of course, signed Jude Bellingham's brother, for 27 million from Sunderland. Yeah, following the footsteps of his brother Jude. Let's see how he does. Of course, the comparisons are going to be there, but it would be pretty crazy if he cooked there, just like his brother. RB Leipzig have made a really, really good signing here, signing Johan Bakayoko for 19 million from PSV. A couple of years ago, Bakayoko was linked to some massive clubs. Very exciting winger. And yeah, I think this is one of those where Leipzig are renowned for developing and selling players. I think this could be another one of them, to be honest, because Bakayoko, fantastic talent, and I think he could really do well at Leipzig. They've also signed this 18-year-old Jan Diamonde from Ligue for 17 mil. Eintracht Frankfurt have replaced Hugo Ekitike with Jonathan Burgard for 17 million, which is a fantastic signing. I mean, guaranteed this guy will be sold on for a profit. It's guaranteed. Frankfurt do not miss when it comes to strikers. Like, they've sold Luka Jovic for massive profit. They sold Sebastian Haller for massive profit. They sold Kolo Muani for massive profit. They sold Hugo Ekitike for massive profits. Jonathan Burgard was fantastic for Mainz last season. I expect him to come in and bang it, and then probably in 2 years' time be sold on for 60 mil. It's just what Frankfurt do, so watch out for him. Definitely watch out for him next season. Leipzig have signed another youngster here, Banzuzu. Vinicius Souza has joined Wolfsburg for 12.9 mil, which is an interesting signing. I didn't know that happens. Big loss there for Sheffield United in the Championship. He was one of their best players for the last couple of seasons. But I definitely think it was too good to be playing in the Championship. Leipzig signed another youngster, Andrej Maksimovic, 18-year-old. Lawrence Assignon, I don't know how to say his name, but he has joined for £10 million from Rennes to Stuttgart. He was playing for Burnley last season, actually. As I mentioned, Mark Flecken has gone there. What else do we have here? Robin Gosens has joined Fiorentina permanently. Rasmus Christensen's move has been made permanent, as has Daniel Svensson. Kylian Sedilia has left Freiburg to PSV, which is a really good signing. A very highly rated youngster. Yusuf Magogo, he's had a really weird career. He was meant to be the next big thing. Made his Bundesliga debut age 16. He was seen as the future of German football, and now he has left Dortmund on a permanent, joining Copenhagen for 4.3 mil. But he's still got plenty of time. He's still only 20 years old, so maybe away from the spotlight he can sort of rebuild himself over in Denmark. I definitely hope he does. What else is there? Alessandro Plia has joined PSV. Down PSV just taking all the Gladbach players, it seems. Let's go to the free transfers then. Nestor Iragunde has gone to Watford on loan, which is a really exciting one. He joined Bayern Munich from Australia, sort of seen as the gem of Australian football. The next Tim Cahill, if you like. So I'm excited to see how he does over in the Championship for Watford with his first sort of taste of, regular minutes under his belt. Anything else here worth noting? Probably not. I think that's everything in Germany. We will now move on. Obviously, Jonathan Dahl went to Bayern Munich as well, but yeah. We'll now finally move on to France in Ligue 1, and these are literally all just departures. Højbjerg has joined permanently. Said Ben Rama has been sold to Saudi Arabia. And let me touch on Lyon, because Lyon have had a bit of a weird up and down thing. I don't really know what's gone on there. They were relegated to the second division for financial trouble, but then they managed to appeal it, and now they're back in the league, so I have no idea what's happened there. But they have sort of sold quite a few players. Cherki's gone, Ben Rama's gone, Lacazette has gone, Almada's gone, as I mentioned. Maybe Malik Fofana as well could be going. So a bit of an exodus there at Lyon, who could struggle quite a bit next season. Damn, how many guys from the French are going to join this Neom SC? This Saudi side have signed Marcin Borka, Lacazette, and Ben Rama. Damn, they mean business. Okay, can we get a signing, please? If these are literally all just outgoings. Barco has joined permanently at Strasbourg. Andrew Omabamadeli joins permanently at Strasbourg. Sumali Koulibaly has joined. Papa Diop has joined Strasbourg as well. Apparently a record sale from Zuid-Waregem. Felix Goulet has joined Lille. Moses Simon has joined Paris FC. Paris FC, I'm excited to see what they do next season. They're in Liga next year. The Paris derby is on. Yevian Duff has come in to replace Martin Borka, which is a really good signing actually for them. Yeah, I don't think there's actually been many transfers, to be honest, in Ligue 1. Obviously PSG haven't made any, and the rest really is kind of broke, so yeah, there's not really much to mention here in Serie A. But here's a Mugu has joined Strasbourg. That was a really weird one. I don't know what we were doing there, but yeah, I forgot to mention this actually in Serie A. Jonathan David has joined Juventus on a free, which is quite a good signing for Juventus. Not bad signing. We need another striker, and yeah, David on a free. Considering the striker market, you do a lot worse than that. Ansu Fati, that's the big one actually. Oh, actually, there's a couple big ones in Ligue, and I've just remembered here. Oh, I didn't even see that yet. So, Monaco have got some really fun signings, I will say. So Monaco have signed Ansu Fati. Let me just go to Monaco. They're building like a throwback team. They're building like a 2019 team here, because so Eric Dyer has actually gone through the door. Ansu Fati's through the door. Paul Pogba's through the door. And actually, I might be completely wrong here. Hold on. I believe. Hold on. Let me just double check this. Okay, no. Yeah, I was wrong there. But anyways, Ansu Fati, Paul Pogba, and Eric Dyer. I really hope this works, because less so Dyer, but Pogba and Ansu Fati, two players trying to get on the comeback trail. Ansu Fati has joined on loan from Barca. Let's see how he does. Tried to revitalise his career, potentially could do it at Monaco, but Paul Pogba obviously been out over a year due to the doping ban. Let's see, he's 32 years old. He spoke about he wants to get into the World Cup squad next year. I'm all here for it. I would love a Paul Pogba renaissance. That would be so cool. It would be so fun. And Monaco could really be one of the most fun teams to watch next season if Pogba's balling out, if Ansu Fati's balling out. Monaco really could be a fun team to watch. So yeah. Elsewhere in Ligue 1, there was also Olivier Giroud is making a return to is he's joined Lille. After 13 years away from French football, he's made a return. Let's see if he's still got it. But yeah, that's another really fun one. So there's actually been a couple really fun transfers. Angel Gomez has joined Marseille as well on a free, which is a really good transfer from Marseille. Gomez has been pretty good at Lille over the last couple of years, so a really good transfer there. So some really fun free transfers made in France. But that's going to wrap up the video today. Hope you guys did enjoy, and if you did,